Yes, I've made a change. It wasn't one that I wanted to make, but time was running out and I had to make a choice. So for those who have been following along, I started out my 3D printing business with a Creality K1 Max and a Bambu Lab P1S with the AMS combo, as you can see behind me there. Unfortunately, I had to make a choice and I have decided to return the Creality, and I am now working with two P1Ss with AMS. So some of you may be asking or wondering, why? Why did you get rid of the Creality? I thought you said that it was great. And when that printer worked, when it printed out, it was great. But in 2 months that I've had the printers, I've had pretty much no issues with the P1S, but the Creality K1 Max just suffered from a litany of issues. So what kind of issues? Bed adhesion, warped bed, 2 extruder jams. I had to pull the extruder completely apart. The chain bolts on the cable chain that leads from the PTFE tube and from the back, all the cables to the tool head, busted off. Problem that caused me to say I'm done. Molten blob forming on underneath the tool head while it was printing and completely filled up the cavity where the hot end is. So I had to pull that apart and clean it out. And at that point, I was done. Once I decided I can't do this anymore with this printer, just causing so many problems, wasting so much filament, I decided last night I was going to go ahead and go back to Micro Center. And luckily, I thought I was stuck with the printer. And luckily, I went to the website, saw that they still had an extended return period for 3D printers. Normally, it's only 15 days, but this one went all the way until the 15th because of holidays. I bought it in beginning of November. And I decided to take it back, and since I've had such good luck with the Bambu printer, I decided to get another one of those, another AMS. I almost actually considered upgrading to the K2 Plus, but the problem with that is that I don't think that that printer is proven yet. It's a really nice looking printer, great package, the CFS looks cool and it has some upgrades. A lot of great reviews have come out on YouTube for that printer, but those by and large seem to be really sponsored. And kind of biased. And you won't really see the actual problems with the printer until it gets into the hands of more people, right? You'll start seeing things on Reddit. You'll start seeing other YouTube videos from smaller creators that go into the actual problems that people are experiencing. And I don't think that the K2 Plus has had enough time to really get that information out there. Similar thing happened with the K1 series while I was researching them. The printer was lauded, oh my God, it's so fast, great prints, all this stuff. And then people started finding out all the other issues that those printers actually had. Bad extruders, bad hot ends, and so Creality in response would release upgrades to the printer, and you wouldn't know which kind of printer you got without pulling it apart, right? The only reason I knew that I got one of the upgraded K1 Maxes, or the latest version, was that the outside of the box had blue lettering. And I don't think that that's really a very transparent way to sell your product. So yeah, so that's all to say. The K1 Max is back at Micro Center. Got another Bambu, and I am very happy. All right, so some updates for the shop. I am in a bit of a lull sales-wise right now. Everything that I've read and videos that I've watched, about starting a small business, and especially in the 3D printing space, is that after the holidays in January and February, things can slow down quite a bit, especially if you don't have products that are already flying off the shelves. So in the meantime, what I'm doing is I am searching for models. I'm searching for things that I could potentially sell, as well as trying to think of solutions to problems that I can solve with 3D printing. That's a lot easier said than done, especially with my lack of modeling experience. I'm still learning, watching YouTube videos and learning Fusion 360 so that I can strengthen that skill. And when the time comes, I find something, I can effectively model it and print it and sell it. And that goes to say that, I'm watching other YouTubers, right? I'm trying to get inspiration. One of the YouTubers that I found has actually done this really well. He created a coffee bean hopper for a coffee machine because that machine had issues with getting coffee beans down into the grinder. And so he designed a really elegant solution that looks practically OEM. It looks, it's very nice, well priced, and he's making a killing with that. So kudos to him. I need to find something like that. What I don't want to do is get into the whole Flexi Dragon and articulated animals thing. Those are extremely popular on Etsy and is not something that I want to get involved with, just because there are massive 3D print farms that are already very good at churning those out, and a lot of them seems like they sell at a loss or they're not making very much money just because they're selling so low, but they can afford to do that because they can create the volume. And yeah, that's just not a segment that I want to compete in at all. So on my last couple of videos, I actually had a few questions that I thought were really good, and I wanted to take this time to answer those questions here in this video. The first question comes from KJack115, and they asked, how do you figure your pricing with filament usage and print hours? And I don't have an elegant answer to that. I scoured the internet for fancy spreadsheets that would help me price appropriately, but I don't think there's really a way to accurately price unless you have a lot of sales data to back up what you think you're going to charge someone. What I ended up doing is Prusa, who makes the Prusa 3D printers, they have a price calculator on their website. And I just go in there and I plug in my filament cost for the spool, plug in the number of print hours, electricity cost. One thing I don't include, which a lot of people would probably say I should, is my cost for time. There are a lot of things that go into running this, doing the measurements and adjustments in slicing, doing the actual prints, cleaning them up afterwards, packaging, driving to the post office, all that stuff, totally valid. I just don't, because this is just more of a side thing for me. I have a full-time career in IT, and it's something that I love to do, so I'm not trying to turn this small business into a full career just yet. It's something that I would love to do, and I will expand when I need to, but that day is not this day. Not any Silo fans out there. I also do a lot of research on Etsy of competing products and kind of price accordingly. They're maybe undercut a little bit just to be a little bit more competitive, but by and large, that's how I do my pricing. All right, second question comes from Upcoming Villain, and they ask, once your listing is active on Etsy, do you do anything else to get people to it or just let Etsy do its thing? And the answer to that, I mentioned in a previous video that I am not a social media person. I have a personal Facebook and a personal Instagram that I pretty much doom scroll in my free time, but I am not good with putting stuff out on social media and driving people to it. So I'm learning that, and basically, I try, for Etsy itself, I try to let Etsy just do its thing. I don't do Etsy ads, I don't pay for any extra advertising, but what I have started doing is taking videos, pictures of products, and putting them on like Instagram Reels. And then I do have a Facebook business page that I put that stuff on. I tried TikTok and didn't get much engagement. I'm not sure, especially with the January 19th ruling, if they're gonna ban it, if it's still even worth trying to pursue it. But I've had a lot of engagement on Instagram, and I have a lot of sales have come through from Facebook Marketplace. So I'll do a little bit of promotion of my products, but for the most part, I let Etsy do its thing. I may consider Etsy ads, signing up for Etsy Plus this year. We'll see. I just need more sales to kind of back that decision up. Okay, and the last question that I want to talk about comes from David Elvira Frankie 7874. Sorry if I butchered that. They asked, where are you sourcing the models or product you are wanting to sell? And that question is a very good one, and there are parts of it that I want to address in an upcoming video because it is kind of tricky if you're just getting into this, what you can and cannot sell. So products that I look for are things, after I've done Etsy searching, what is popular out there right now, what I could possibly offer to compete. Like I said, I'm not going to be doing articulated animals and Flexi Dragons, so I'm not worried about that. But I'll go on Printables, Thingiverse, Maker World, and look for items that could potentially fill a need, fill a niche, or that are popular enough that they're not oversaturated. One thing you have to really keep in mind, and you have to watch out for, you need to make sure that you are paying attention to the license. When I talk about this in another upcoming video, I know what I'm talking about in that regard, and you just need to be very careful. If something says non-commercial, you cannot sell it without a license from that creator. Usually you either have to ask them and pay them a royalty, or sometimes they'll have Patreons that you can subscribe to for a monthly cost. I don't do any of that. I don't have the income generation yet to be able to sell things like that. So I'm not subscribed to anyone. I'm just looking for models that have a commercial use that I can sell. And usually, as long as you are attributing that listing and that product to that original creator, you're usually pretty fine. All right, and while I was filming this video, I actually got another custom order request come in from Facebook Marketplace. So I am going to load it up with filament, get that on in Bambu Slicer, get it ready to go, sent over to the printer so that I can get it printed and shipped out by tomorrow morning. All right, I think that's going to do it for me today, guys. Thank you so much for watching. I appreciate all the support. I can't believe that we're almost at 200 subscribers already. It's been less than a week, so thank you everyone for your support. I really appreciate it. I'm glad that people like what I have to say, and I hope to keep doing this. Well, I will keep doing this, but I hope to provide more information and more insight into what starting a small business, especially in the 3D printing space, entails. So if you have any questions or comments about what I talked about today, or just in general about what I do, leave them down below. I do read them all. And if you like the type of content that I'm putting out, hit that like button, subscribe, and I will see you guys next time. Bye for now.